Maayong gabi sa tanan. I'm very happy to be here with you tonight for this Earth Hour celebration. And let me just share my screen with you as I thank the City Local Environment and Natural Resources Office for inviting me to be part of this Earth Hour for 2021 with this theme, An Hour of Mourning for the Earth to Breathe. My name is Philin Dongay. I, in fact, used to work for Earth Hour, for WWF, the organization that's pushing Earth Hour. And those were some of the most meaningful years of my career. Now, I work for a company called Greenergy Solar, and I'm happy to be part of a firm which promotes the kind of solutions that Earth Hour celebrations such as Earth Hour, is pushing for. So today I was tasked to tell you about solar as an energy source, and we know that this is the oldest energy source in this part of our universe. So we know that the sun is clearly abundant. And naay adage sa solar industry that we constantly say, and this goes that every hour the sun shines is enough to power the world's energy needs for an entire year. Luckily for us, the technology that harvests solar energy into useful electricity is already available. So this is solar photovoltaics. And this is not new, no, but has only recently been made available and affordable in the Philippines. So what happens in solar power plants? The sun's rays are used to produce electricity either by direct conversion of light, by the photoelectric effect, or through the heating of fluids. So there are two kinds, in fact. The first one I told you about is the photovoltaic effect, a photovoltaic process. And then the other is a concentrated solar power, which uses lenses and mirrors to track the sunlight into an area where there's water, typically water, and then the water boils because of the intense heat. Dayon ang steam will turn a turbine and generate mechanical energy that can be converted to electricity. So this is an example of a concentrated solar power plant. A few fast facts on solar you might like. The first solar cell was invented in 1883 at 1% efficiency at the time. So taas na kayo siya karon. Ako na kay improvement since then. But also another fact you might be interested in as people from Cagayan de Oro is that the first solar farm in the developing world is here in our city. So this is the 1 megawatt photovoltaic power plant of Cepalco in Indag. And these are the photos that I took a few years back from the area. So in the Philippines, solar potential is proven and substantive. And these are just some of the maps that shows how much solar is available for us, no? However, according to the new Energy Nexus, as of 2019, only 1.18% of generated electricity comes from solar. And this is in fact why companies like mine, Greenergy Solar, have been put up. And this is the kind of problems that we're hoping to help solve. So Greenergy in general has been in the business of renewable energy, with our principals having been involved in several renewable energy projects from wind to hydro. And in 2010, we introduced solar home systems in partnership with Sharp Solar of Japan. We are headquartered in Cagayan de Oro in the Oro Chamber Business and Development Center. We happen to be members as well of the Oro Chamber of Commerce. So at Greenergy Solar, we've found that there are three things that people ask about when it comes to solar. And I want to share that with you tonight. So these three things are about savings, technology, and experience in terms of installations as a firm. So for savings, first, unsaon man pag-achieve ang savings, no? First, we need to acknowledge nga the increase permi ang electricity rates. Even if we say nga na roll back for a few centavos, ang general trend sa electricity is really increasing. And in fact, in our own calculations sa Greenergy between 1990 to 2019, murag ga-average ta og 20% increase per year. So if you have solar, your savings is brought about by the fact that imo nang gana avoid sky, ikaw man ang produce sa imong kaugalingong energy. There's also the fact that the Philippines has one of the most expensive electricity rates in the world. And this is just a graph from Bloomberg na we compare ta with other countries around Southeast Asia, where even our rates are even more expensive than Singapore. So that's something that we can also help avoid when we produce our own electricity from our rooftops. We think that the future is solar, and at this stage, the levelized cost is around 2.75 per kilowatt hour. So that's through the years of your usage of your equipment, ana ra imong ginabayran. So dili na siya mag-increase. So now let's talk about the technology. How does it work? First, let me tell you about solar reliability in the Philippines. Better sun hours than most of the countries in the world. Even Germany, where a huge chunk of the population has solar in their rooftops, mas maayo pa tong sun hours compared to them. Mas daghan tag effective sun hours, and that's 4 hours in a day on a yearly average. So yeah, that's something that we can take advantage of. So what are the system types that are typically offered for solar? So we have three. Ang on-grid, which means you're connected to the grid. Off-grid is you're not connected to a grid, but you have battery storage. Hybrid is you have grid connection and battery storage. So let's just go through them one by one. No? So sa on-grid, sa buntag, when solar energy is enough for home appliances, it is used in full as first priority power source, and no energy is taken from the grid. Kung ubos pa ang power output, solar energy is then insufficient to supply home appliances, so the supply is augmented by the grid. Sa gabi, power supply is completely from the grid. So that's your on-grid system. Before I go on to off-grid, I will explain to you net metering, which is the idea of you selling your excess electricity to the grid. So when solar energy supply is larger than the power demand of home appliances, the excess energy is exported to the grid. So that's something that your utility can pay you for. Kay imuhang gi-export sa ilaha ang imong kuryente nga na generate from your rooftop. So that's the concept of net metering, which luckily for us, Sepalco is offering, and they're very generous about this implementation of the net metering law. So now let's go to off-grid. So off-grid is where you have battery storage, and if solar energy supply is bigger than the demand of the home appliances, the excess energy is stored in the batteries. Sa gabi, it's the batteries that supply the home appliances. Kaya wala man kay connection sa grid. For hybrid, since you have both battery and the grid connection, sufficient sunlight supplies the home appliances and charges the batteries. There is no power supply from the grid. Ang net metering in a hybrid system is when the batteries are fully charged and solar energy supply is larger than the power demand of the home appliances, then the excess energy is exported to the grid. So dili na pud mosulod ang imuhang credit from your utility. Sa gabi, it's the batteries that supply the power to the home appliances. Once the batteries are exhausted, the grid then supplies power for the home appliances, since you're still connected to the grid. So in this section we talk about experience. So Greenergy lang, these are the bulk of our projects. I'm just gonna run through them super quickly. These are like our rooftop projects in mostly homes and SMEs. Before I go, I hope you've learned a lot about solar as a technology from me. I just want to quickly show you this video to help you learn more about Greenergy Solar.
Greenergy Solar is changing the way Mindanaoans are powering their lives. Through our solar solutions, we've urged Mindanaoans to hire the sun. The sun tirelessly shows up for work every single day without fail to power their homes, their offices, their streets, their farms, and soon, every Mindanaoan household will use electricity powered by the sun. The Philippines suffers heavily from climate change, but we can help stop the climate from changing by changing the way we produce energy. Clean energy generated from solar has zero carbon emissions. Not only that, having your own Greenergy Solar rooftop and storage creates energy independence and protects you from power fluctuations during extreme weather events caused by climate change. Today, Greenergy Solar has installed over 2.5 megawatts of solar capacity with almost 6,000 solar street lights installed and 500-hectare land irrigated, and has helped the southern Philippines avoid 1.8 metric tons of carbon emissions, which contribute to global warming. We have also helped increase energy access in the most remote areas of the region, contributing to the country's goal of 100% electrification. We have done so by utilizing over 50 years of combined experience in power generation, transmission and distribution, climate change, and renewable energy, and with a distinct dedication for Mindanao from a company founded by Mindanaoans. We take pride in the wonderful people who make up our Greenergy gang of clean energy advocates who provide their technical expertise from installation, commissioning, and give commitment throughout the life of your system by giving excellent after-sales service. Many of our customer partners have enjoyed significant reductions in their electric bills.
Our solar system gives us 30 to 50% savings on our energy consumption.
And we are also very satisfied with the service that you have given us so far.
And with the net metering assistance we provide for you to sell excess power to the grid. A few have experienced negative bills during their solar rooftop system's most productive months. From Davao to Surigao, Zamboanga to Butuan, Hagusan, Hingoog, Camiguin, Misamis Occidental, Misamis Oriental, Lanao, Iligan, the entire province of Bukidnon, Bohol, Leyte, and Siquijor. Greenergy has brought solar solutions to Mindanaoans and many parts of the Visayas, one rooftop, one street, one farm at a time. This has been our mission to provide renewable, green energy in abundance to Filipino communities and industries and help drive sustainable development in the country. You can support us in this mission by hiring the sun to cut down on your electricity bills, achieve energy independence, and help keep the planet healthy. We can work together in building the clean energy future of Mindanao and the Philippines.
So yeah, that's it for me. Again, I hope that you learned about solar today. And thank you again, CLENRO Cagayan de Oro, for organizing Earth Hour for the city and for inviting us, no? And I wish everyone a happy Earth Hour and may it be meaningful to you as you think of solutions to the environmental problems that we have today in the Earth. So thanks again and maayong gabi sa tanan.